hobby. An activity done regularly in one's leisure time for pleasure. Many people have hobbies. In fact, that also applies to me. I have many interests and find pleasures in many pursuits. In fact, I have too many. But my biggest hobby and inspiration for starting out on this YouTube journey is gaming, and more specific, retro gaming. I really wanted to put down in words what this hobby means to me, how and why I do it. Please don't feel like I'm telling you that this is the only way to enjoy this hobby. It's just my thoughts on it. My gaming library isn't as big as you'd imagine. I don't have an extensive list of rare or unusual games. In fact, there are games that are considered staples in any collection that are missing. But that's okay, because I'm not a collector. I'm a gamer. This isn't my collection, it's my library. I think it's worth making the distinction, and it's okay to be either. If you like collecting a load of games, more than you can really ever play, that's great. If you're more like me, you buy a couple of games at a time, put plenty of hours into them, and then buy some more, that's also great. Emulation is great, right? You can emulate pretty much any console and have access to all the games. At first this was tempting. In my early days as a retro gamer, I was seduced by emulation. I emulated the NES on my laptop, having downloaded the complete library. I then soft-modded my Wii. I had the usual Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, DS, NES and SNES games, and more. I had access to everything. And you know what? I didn't play any of it. I would load up many games out of curiosity, but then I'd only play them for a couple of minutes, and that's it. When I had access to everything, I played nothing. So I made a conscious decision there and then to delete it all, and unmod my Wii. I've gone back to playing games how I did in my youth. I research which game I would like to try next, and then hunt for that game. Sometimes I walk into my local CEX and buy one off the shelf. Sometimes, if I'm lucky, I'll find one in a local charity shop. And of course, there's eBay. Having the game in my hand, walking back to the car, on the seat next to me on the journey home, getting home and opening up the case, poring over the manual and the blurb on the back of the case, or the box. Loading up the console, putting it in, then enjoying the game, playing it thoroughly, putting hours into it, savouring it, not worrying about massive backlogs of games I own and need to play. If I order the game online, it's even better. Like waiting for Christmas Day, having to defer my excitement of playing whilst it's out on delivery. Every time a van pulls up the street, wondering if this is it, waiting for it to drop through the door. Then when I've finished the game, or played it long enough to be finished with it, it goes on the shelf and the hunt begins again for the next one. Now, I'll be honest, this is the ideal. But I'm human like anyone else. So I do have games that I've purchased and not played yet. but not many. And I've got to an age now where I like to play old familiar games. My favourite 10 or so games I play regularly every year without fail. There is also something wonderful about using and preserving original hardware, having it ready set up to play at a moment's notice. Now logically, it's massively impractical, expensive, and takes a lot of effort to troubleshoot, plan and execute. But again, I'm human, and logic doesn't always play its part. I love of an evening, when I have time, pick out a game from my library. Looking through the games on the shelf is just so much more tactile and real than looking at a list of games on an emulator screen. Taking the game out, putting it in the console. For older consoles, playing it on an authentic TV, sitting on the sofa with a controller in hand. This all takes time, but because of that you have to commit to it, and that just means I'm going to make time to play. Now at this point it's beyond nostalgia. I already own every game I had as a youngster, but now I get to play all the games I couldn't, and for me, that's what it's all about. This for me, all of this, is an escape. Reliving the past, when summers were long and life was simple. Thank you for spending time with me today, and I hope to see you back here soon.